Hi, my name is Jack Murray, and I'm going to talk about my passion, which is the Irish sport of hurling. As a 7-year-old, my dad in 1980, came back from the national finals where our local team had won the All-Ireland. And from then to this, it's been kind of an abiding passion. When you're Irish and you say the word hurling, this is what people think. They think that it's something that will happen if you spend too long on the turf or too long playing werewolf tonight. And I'd say a lot of people felt like this morning at some stage after staying out too late last night. But the sort of hurling I'm talking about is this sort of hurling. It's played by two teams of 15 people with an ash stick and a ball, and I'll give you a bit of a demonstration in a while. And it's the fastest field sport in the world. It's 100 miles an hour. And when people watch it, the one thing that strikes them is it's hockey across the world. This is why it's such a fantastic sport. There's no protection. There's no pads other than a helmet, and it's a wonderful game played at breakneck speed. Now you see this prehistoric man, and you see his club, and you see the club I'm wielding here today. So this is 3,000 years ago, and it goes before recorded history in Ireland. So this is how long the game is in existence. I reckon it's a precursor to baseball. And what would have happened back in those days is you'd go deep dark into the forest to protect your tribe or your village, and you'd find an ash tree. And you try and find the best piece of wood that you could beat somebody up with. And you would shape it into a weapon that you could... And over time it developed and it evolved. And what happened was, you see this beautiful, and we heard about hackers, we heard about makers, this handcrafted piece of wood that fits the contour of my hand wonderfully. And that's what it is. And it's made with great skill. And you see the bend on the boss of the hurl. That happens because you have to go to the root. It all happened back in 1884 when a game that was disorganised was organised by the Gaelic Athletic Association in Ireland. And they brought a group together in a small town in the south of Ireland, and they organised the sport. And amazingly, 20 years later, it was a demonstration sport at the Olympics. In 1904, in St. Louis, Missouri, hurling became on the verge of being a global game. And what happened from then to this, and how can I get back to that place? Why is it such a great game? I'll tell you why. Because the Corinthian ideal of an amateur sport that can't be bought by anybody, that you can play with your friends and your brothers, that you have to play in a local community, so you can't move from one place to another. It's also, this is my daughter Matilda, and every Saturday morning, it's the greatest community development organisation in our country. Thousands of children, hundreds of thousands of children from all over the country go and they play sport, and we do it on a Saturday morning. And it starts as a small community development organisation, and this is our national stadium. It seats 80,000 people. It's one of the biggest stadia in the world. It's the third largest in Europe. And on heady summer days, 80,000 people fill the stadium. Crazed fans from all over the country. It's a sport that has the hand-eye coordination and the skill of baseball and that frantic energy that you get with ice hockey. And you mix the two of them together. And the one thing that people think is, these guys are going to take a timeout soon. They play for 70 minutes with a half-time break. You don't need to be LeBron James. You don't need to be 6'10". You don't need to be 350 pounds. You can be 5'1" and kind of slow and willing to pull on a jersey and hang out with your friends. It's not elitist like some sports. It doesn't matter how slow you are that you can do it. So I'm going to do this now to show you how it works. Children, small animals. Skills like solo, so you do this at great speed. Catch it like this, and you can pick it like this. And these are the skills that people say that football can be picked up by anybody who's big and large and strong. These are things that take a little bit of finesse, and I'm not that good. I'm making this. So it's played all around the world. It's played all around the world where Irish people are, where they're basically everywhere. So North America, South America, and one of the great things is our economy has tanked, our diaspora has grown. So we go around the world and we get people to play hurling. And we went to Jamaica, and Usain Bolt found the skills very hard to master. So that can show you how difficult a game that it is. And back a couple of years ago, Barack Obama came to Ireland, and we translated the great campaign slogan into Gaelic. So, yes we can in Irish is Féidir Linn. So the question I pose to you is, will it take over the world? Yes we can. Is Féidir Linn. And this man is the Deputy Prime Minister of China. And he came to Ireland a couple of years ago. And on a very formal, stilted visit, he came to our national stadium, and someone put a hurl in his hand. and his face lit up. So if the deputy leader of one of the biggest countries in the world can play hurling, yes, we can. Yes, Julian.